on the Cambridge Ball State Cardinals Sports Network from Learfield. Welcome to This Week in Ball State Sports, a Ball State Athletics podcast, highlighting the Cardinals athletics teams and administration each week. Presented by Cambridge. Here's the voice of the Cardinals, your host, Mick Tidrow.
Hey, Cardinal fans, we're leading off this week of This Week in Ball State Sports with Assistant Athletic Director for Championship Experiences and Brand Elevation, Kevin Mullaney. Kevin, really appreciate your time. I know a lot's going on right now for you, but how are you?
I'm doing well, Mick. How are you?
We're good this way. Appreciate you asking. It's been a really fun semester, and I know you've felt the same, as it's been fast and furious since the beginning, and the year's going by quick.
It's just good to connect with you because I know you've been very busy on the road with everything going on. So happy to spend some time with you here and talk all things Ball State. So
yeah, I know. I appreciate that, Kevin. You too. I feel like I haven't seen you around the offices in a long time because when you're traveling, I'm in. When I'm traveling, you're in, and it's just it's a back and forth of emails and texts.
Yeah, it is what it is. It's a fun time of the year, like that crossover period when the fall sports are going and the winter sports are going. It's all good. There's just lots of things going on, and you being who you are, you're all over the place. So I'm just happy to be here with you today.
I love the sweater that you're rolling with too. It's got the holiday vibes going on right now, just all red.
'Tis the season, man. I only get to wear sweaters one time a year, so I got to take advantage of the opportunity. And what better time than when it's 20 degrees outside? So,
do we have a holiday sweater day coming up here soon for one of our teams?
We sure do. The women's basketball team is rocking against Anderson for their community day on Thursday, December 19th. We'll be facing Anderson. Like I said, they are encouraging everyone to wear their fun and festive holiday sweaters, and tickets are only $1. So encourage everyone in the community to come out, support our women's basketball team right as we head into the holiday break. So excited for that matchup here coming up in a week.
I think it's a great promotion, Kevin, because you have $1, you get you to wear your sweaters, and you get to watch a team that was the second best attendance in women's basketball history a couple games ago, right? So you've got so many good things that you can help support in one day.
There's a lot of great things going on with Coach Sally, and we're excited to be a part of it. They've got a great season going underway, and we're happy to have them home. They've been on the road a lot this here in the fall, and really looking to welcome them back to Worthen Arena with some of the best fans in the country.
Yeah, shout out to you, Kevin, Josh Grimes, and Grace Dawes, your team putting together an excellent plan of helping get that second ever highest attendance record for Ball State women's basketball on field trip day. Over 5,000. That was a blast.
It was fun, and I love what the women's team does with that. It's such a great way for us to connect with the youth in our community and really get that pipeline going of, we have a lot of fun, especially with that game. I mean, and Grace and Josh do a great job of planning that out. And it's really fun when you could put a song on and then all of a sudden, instantly, there's like 4,000 kids who know every word to it and just like belt it out. It's a lot of fun. It's a great day that we have here. And it's even better when you can win with the way we did against a really good Davidson team. So we love doing that. We're just hoping to capitalize on that momentum here as we get into opening up MAC play here in just a few short weeks.
I was impressed as well with the kids' ability to know a wide range of music. Hadassah Harris and I on the TV broadcast were talking like, hey, these kids are well versed in a lot of different songs. Like Hot to Go came on, they didn't miss a beat.
Oh yeah, and well, that's the fun thing. We're working with kindergarten all the way up through middle school here, so we have we're kind of dealing with a lot of different age groups in that, and yeah, I mean, they all knew everything. It was great. It was fantastic. And, when you throw make some noise on there when the visiting team's shooting a free throw and it's just deafening, it's a lot of fun. And, we're happy to do that. We love doing that event. And our team did a great job. And I know a lot of people were had a good time, and we look forward to welcoming them back here to future games.
100%. Can't wait for next year's already. Kevin Mullaney, Assistant Athletic Director for Championship Experiences and Brand Elevation, joining us here on This Week in Ball State Sports. Kevin, with Coach Uremovich being named as the 19th head coach in Ball State football history, officially last Friday at his news conference, but news broke last week. There's some cool ticket deals happening right now surrounding football. What can you expand on with that?
Yeah, I think, this is a great time for Ball State football. We're really excited about having Coach U on board. We're really looking forward to the energy that he's going to bring to our program. And we've launched our season ticket renewals and our new sales already. This is the earliest we've done it, but we're really excited about having him on board, and we're kind of launching into these phases of deals. So if you can renew your tickets or buy season tickets before December 20th, you're actually getting a great pre-sale price. It comes down, I believe, I think it's the per game dollar amount. I mean, it's one of the best deals you're going to get in the country to watch Division I football. So we're excited. We really want the people and our fans to really capture in on this energy. And so we're offering some great deals. So if you can renew your tickets or buy tickets by the 20th, you're going to get the best deal in the house then. And then, as we move forward into the new year, we'll have another deadline and so forth, all the way through then until we get to more into the springtime. But tickets are on sale now. Great seats are available. Come pack the shoe with us, and save some money, right? Bring the family up, get your friends involved. It makes it for a great holiday gift for the biggest Ball State fans in your life right before the holidays here. So really looking forward to what we can do and the energy that we're going to bring to Schumann Stadium next season.
Yeah, call the ticket office 888 BSU ticket for all of that. And you can also visit ballstatesports.com/2025 football for those exclusive presale prices through December 20th. So I love that, Kevin. I think it's a great thing, like you mentioned, the earliest that you're launching football season ticket packages. I think that just shows the excitement that the department, the fans, and the program have moving forward to 2025 with Coach U.
Yeah, absolutely. And definitely just looking forward to what he's going to bring to the table.
What else is going on right now? I mean, we've got basketball season for men's and women's, gymnastics, men's volleyball all coming up. What else is happening in your realm?
Yeah, I think, I would definitely want to harp on, we've got gymnastics and men's volleyball starting here in January. Both of those tickets are on sale for season tickets. As you mentioned, reach out to the ticket office and get yours today. We got a lot of great quality opponents coming to Worthen Arena. Men's volleyball is hosting BYU twice. We've got Ohio State coming to town. Donan and his crew are set up to make another deep run in the MIVA and with aspirations of getting to the national championship again, to the Final Four again. Joanna Salim and her team, they won the MAC last year. We've got a really good gymnastics team, and they're coming in. And Illinois is coming to Worthen Arena this year. To get a Big Ten opponent to come here is fantastic. They were the team that we faced in the NCAA regionals last year. So, I mean, it's really cool that, they're coming here. So just a lot of really good things happening on the horizon. Worthen Arena is going to be the place to be for January and February for any Ball State fan. I would challenge you to go look at our calendar, because if you're not at Worthen Arena, I don't know what else you're doing, because there's an event here almost every single night for a month and a half straight between men's and women's basketball, gymnastics, men's volleyball. So we just got a lot of stuff on deck here ready to go. We're excited. It's a busy time of year for all of us, but it's one of the best times because we get to see all of our student athletes coming together, all of our coaching staffs planning it out, and we get to put on a show, and it's a fun time. It's busy. It can be a lot, but at the end of the day, this is why we get into what we do, because this is like the peak of what we're doing, right? We've got two very good basketball programs. We've got an elite men's volleyball program and an elite gymnastics program. It's all coming together here in January. And so I can't wait to see our fans here. I can't wait to see our alumni and our students. It's going to be the place to be.
Kevin Mullaney joining us here on This Week in Ball State Sports, talking all things from a marketing standpoint. Kevin, there's always excitement when you get to January because of everything that you just mentioned. Looking specifically at basketball for a moment here, are there other things coming up from a men's and women's standpoint outside of what we kind of talked about?
Yeah, so we've got some, with the MAC season coming into play, we've got a lot of really good things lined up. We're going to be doing our annual Red Out game on January 18th against Toledo. We do have free replica jersey tank tops for students that game. So first early arriving students will have access to that. We have the MAC Sunbelt Challenge on February 8th. That is our hometown heroes night. So there is going to be a ticket discount for all of our first responders, so our police, our fire, our active duty military and veterans, as well as our healthcare providers in the local community. So that information will be coming out. And then as we wrap up in late February on the 22nd is our community day, which will have dollar hot dogs and popcorn. And hoping might have a surprise from some of our professional basketball cheerleaders, power pack from Indianapolis, hopefully at that game. I'm going to hint. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then we're also going to acknowledge our 2000 NCAA tournament team that day. So a lot of fun things coming up on the horizon here. Really excited about what we've got going on with Coach Lewis, and what's coming to play with that.
Awesome. No, I think it's exciting to look at what's coming up in the rest of this academic year. I know it's all been fast, and we're already sitting here as recording this on December 11th. I don't think you and I have had a podcast episode this semester. Like, that's just how fast this has gone in the blink of an eye.
Has it been that long, Mick?
Yeah, I don't know if we did one earlier this year, right? Yeah. I think we may have last done.
I've been on here a few times. So I'm starting to lose track, but yeah. I'm just honored that you thought of me today, because yes,
today was your day.
Yes.
Kevin, when we look forward to everything coming together, just from the growth standpoint of what you've been able to see from a departmental standpoint in your position since you took this job, we're over 2 years now, right?
2 football seasons, but only a year and a half.
2 football seasons, year and a half.
Yeah.
Just from your standpoint, how have you seen your area grow and continue to move forward?
Yeah, I think, we're doing a lot of really fun things. Like you said, the field trip game was fantastic. We had our second highest attendance this season. You look at just the growth in what we're doing with gymnastics and men's volleyball. You look at baseball getting a brand new video board in the spring. You look at, our softball team making a deep run in their postseason tournament last year. There's so much amazing things going on here, and to be a part of it, it's really rewarding, especially at your alma mater when not many people get to do it for the place they went to school at. And so I'm very fortunate to do that. And I just look, like as we develop our student athletes, it's great to be in the position I'm in to help bring the community and bring our fans to come witness it, right? And that's kind of where my role as being involved with all the external side of things comes into play. So I think it's really fun just to watch that growth, to watch, our fans really have a good time. It's a fun job to have, and I'm very fortunate to do it. And I'm very excited about the opportunities we have in front of us here with currently what's going on, right? So like our goal is to make some deep postseason runs, and I think we're poised to do that across the board right now. And so I think we look at that and what comes with that, and we're going to capitalize that, and we're going to have our fans be involved, and we're going to, really do our best to make sure that we're putting our best foot forward. And it's cool to be a part of that.
It definitely is. I'm 100% with you there, Kevin. I think we've got a lot of programs that are off and running, and there's a lot of excitement in so many different areas. So excited for what the rest of this year brings, and the growth of our student athletes. And this is finals week for them, so it's a little bit of.
I don't miss that. I can tell you that. So
I can't say that I miss that either.
Yes, no. I wish them all the best of luck. Go study, work hard. We want that award again. So
that's right. That's right.
Yes.
Finish up the semester on a high note, and see all of our student athletes in January.
Absolutely.
All right, Kevin, before we let you go here on the podcast, anything else you want Ball State fans to know?
Call the ticket office, 888-BSU-TICKET. Visit us online, ballstatesports.com. Come out to Worthen Arena this season. Get your football tickets for next. We got a lot of great things coming, and we're really exciting time to be a Ball State fan. So looking forward to spending some time with our fans here, and hope everyone has a great holiday season with friends and family. And I hope you spend some time with us as well. So
perfect.
That's about it.
Yeah, no, that sounds like a good thing to me. Appreciate you, Kevin. As always, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Mick. Appreciate it.
They fly down the court and fly through the air.
Right to left, the shifty guard pulls up straight away, 3, sinks it.
And we fly with the Cardinals.
Straight away, Trey lets it loose and buries it.
This is your home for Ball State Cardinals basketball.
Drives baseline left, he throws it off the window and it drops in.
All the action all season long is right here.
Hey, Cardinal fans, welcome back inside This Week in Ball State Sports. And we're talking some football here today with Ball State radio analyst for football, Chris Radican, joining us. Chris, appreciate your time, and it's good to see you a couple days after the last game of the season in Ohio.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I haven't seen you for a few weeks, and we saw each other every week for 11 weeks or 12 weeks or 12 weeks. So, yeah, it's nice to be back with you, Mick. Miss your face.
Yeah, you too. You too. I'm glad we're doing this and getting to chat a little bit of Ball State football. And Chris, you've been able to see what's going on from where you sit. Program changing head coaches, and head coach Mike Uremovich just named last week as the 19th head coach for Ball State football. Just want to hear what are your thoughts overall about Coach U joining Ball State football?
Well, I think it was a great hire. I mean, looking back, as the season wound down, and we knew we were probably going to be looking for a head coach, and then it became official a couple days after the Buffalo game. We knew that Jeff Mitchell, our AD, was going to go out and find somebody. And the conversations that I had with Jeff, I knew that he was going to be very purposeful and intentional about what he was looking for and what he was going to be trying to bring and put his stamp on a program. The biggest program in the athletic department. Let's make no bones about it. The football team is the face of the university. So he was really looking to make his stamp, and I knew that he would be well-intentioned about how he went through the process, and he was very tight-lipped, which I absolutely adored that. I thought that was very important. While we all wanted to know, and we were all anxious to know who was going to get the job, the hiring of Coach U was a huge step towards righting the ship for the football team, for the Ball State football team. So I'm really excited. He knows how to win. He had a I would say, an average record when he was at St. Francis, and then he kind of moved around in more of a he was an OC at Temple, and he's been around the block. He was at NIU for a long time. He was at North Carolina State, and then got the Butler job. He went to Temple with Rod Carey for a while. Rod Carey was, I think, the OC at IU last year or the year before. I can't remember. And so, he knows football. This guy knows how to call plays. He knows how to construct an offense. He knows how to run a program. So, he's learned from some great coaches out there. Dave Dorn at NC State, Jerry Kill, and at NIU, he was Matt Canada. If you guys don't know who Matt Canada is kind of an offensive genius until he wasn't an offensive genius for the Steelers. But Matt knows how to construct an offense, and Coach U learned from him. He was Matt's GA at Northern. So he's been around the block. He knows what he's doing. Most impressive thing about Coach U is he won at Butler. And for, local people who know football, Butler hasn't been relevant. And my apologies in advance to the Butler Bulldog Nation. They just haven't been relevant for a long time, 35 or 40 years. He had 3 winning seasons in a row at Butler, and that hadn't been done since the 80s. So, Mick, you weren't even born then, dude. So
That's right, I wasn't.
Yeah, and so, that's a long time. And so, he put together 3 winning seasons. And I guess to nutshell what that means, if you know recruiting and college football, to win at Butler with really good players is incredibly hard to do. And why is that? You're getting non-scholarship kids to come play football for you. You're talking about basically 100 walk-on kids, a team of walk-ons, and he was able to put that together and get numbers in the left-hand column. Almost impossible to do on a consistent basis. And he did it for 3 years in a row.
He did 3 years in a row and put together a team that was consistently being around the top 25, right? With
That's
Butler.
right.
And
Yeah.
that's a program, that's a historic mark for Butler's program. And Coach U took that program to new heights. Looking at that at Butler, you said non-scholarship players. Those are players who really go to places in that instant that want to play for a coach, right? Because they see what he can do with that type of program.
That tells you what kind of salesman he is to get kids to come play. For the lay person out there that listens to this, I think the tuition and room and board at Butler right now is approaching $70,000 a year. And so you're asking a family, hey, come play football for me. Also, you're going to need to cut a check every year for $70,000 so that you can come play football for me. Oh yeah, I know you, Indy, and I know Grand Valley, and I know Quincy, and these other schools are going to give you money. we can't do that. Now, it goes without saying, a lot of the kids that go to Butler, because of the admission standards, those kids are a higher academic field. So a lot of those kids are getting some grants and aid based on academic things like that, and service grants and things like that. So, not a lot of people, not everyone pays full freight at Butler, but they're still paying a huge chunk of change, probably more than they would have at some of those other schools. So that my point in saying all that is, it lays the groundwork for what kind of salesman he is, how he can go into a living room of a player and convince that kid this is the place you want to come. Because, without players, you're not going to win games. And he won games there. He had players. So he's a heck of a recruiter, a heck of a salesman. The sky's going to be the limit for him if he stays true to form with recruiting kids to Ball State, where he's going to have, 105 full scholarships going into, is it now? I think it's next year. So
yeah,
he's going to be able to offer 105 players full rides to go play college football.
Right, which you think about the ability for him to do what he did at Butler, to now turn that into, I have 105 scholarships and can go on the recruiting trail and really start to hit this hard. I think one of the interesting comments that I loved was from his news conference last week. He said, I want to recruit within the 5-hour radius of Muncie, and then 5 hours out, I really want to make that the big recruiting spot to make Ball State, very apparent in the Midwest. And then he said, of course, we'll reach out to people outside of that 5-hour radius, but he was saying that 5-hour radius needs to be somewhere that Ball State dominates. And I thought that was very interesting, and I love that.
You think about 5 hours, you can go all the way to West Virginia. You can always go all the way up into Michigan. You can go all the way to Iowa. You can go to Nashville. You can find some great players. By the way, you don't sometimes have to go 5 hours. You can go 48 minutes down to Fishers, or
exactly
60 minutes over to Zionsville. I'm just throwing out schools, for example. You can go to the south side down to Greenwood and find Center Grove kids, which Ball State has Center Grove kids left and right. Every other players feel like there's a Center Grove kid on that team. So, and Mike New did a great job of that. I think Coach Yu obviously sees that there's a lot of value in the Marion County and what I call the donut counties: Hamilton, Hendricks, Johnson, Hancock, Boone, and so on. So there's a lot of great players playing in the HCC, the MIC, and some of the smaller schools that can provide production on the field on Saturdays in Muncie. And I think Coach Yu is obviously going to see that. Also, hit that region hard. He's a region guy. And if you don't know what the region is Gary, Northwest Indiana, Gary, Maryville, Crown Point, Valpo. And then it gets a little dicey as you go more east, because they don't want to be referred to as the region. It's still the region to me. I get in arguments with my buddies from up there. So, but the region's the region. A lot of tough football players up there. Hit Fort Wayne. Back in the day when I played at Ball State, we were loaded with Fort Wayne guys, and we haven't seen a whole lot of Fort Wayne guys lately on that roster. So we've gotten away from that. Good football up there. Really good football up there.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see how Coach Yu and staff put everything together, including what the transfer portal will bring, because we all know the portal will be a big asset for any new coaching staff.
Yeah, and then that's one of my next things I wanted to talk about. And I talked about that. You and I came home from the James Madison game, and if you remember, one of the things I said, I told several people, including you, that's the template on how to navigate the Group of 5 football programs in the United States. Is how they did it. A lot of transfers, a lot of portal guys. The whole from soup to nuts, how they handled that, and they had a lot of great players. And how is Coach Yu going to navigate that portal? How is he going to go find? And you'll hear me use this word a lot in conversations about the program, not just Ball State, but other programs as well. How are you going to find production on the field? The movie Moneyball, we talked. I'm sure you've seen it, being a baseball guy. How do you find production on the field? Yes, a guy can pass the eye test. A guy can be a 4-star that transfers in from a Big Ten school. He wasn't playing a whole lot there. Well, why wasn't he playing there? Why wasn't he on the field? Why wasn't he productive there? And so sometimes production's can be more of an asset than the eye test, the first guy off the bus, right? I mean, when I was playing high school basketball, this is no lie, we had a 6'10" kid on my basketball team, couldn't walk and chew gum, could not even tie his own shoes. He was first one off the bus. You know why? He looked great. Couldn't play at all, had no production at all. So one of the things you want to have production. And so when their assistants and those guys are scouring the portal, they want to make sure that they're finding guys that were productive at the level they were at. And what was their level of production? Were they elite at production? Were they decent? Were they average? And so you want to find guys that can absolutely provide some production for your football team in some way, shape, or form. Sometimes size, speed, length, athletic ability, those things are great, but the production is what you want. Guys, a running back that can get yards after being hit, a lineman that can make blocks even though he's a little bit shorter and his arms are a little bit shorter, he's not as quick off the ball, a corner that can move his hips and can cover guys regardless of his athleticism or his speed or his ability. So those are a lot of things that those guys will have to figure out, those assistants, as they go into the off season, as they dive right into the head first into that transfer portal. How are they going to find production for that team in year one of the Coach U era? It's hard to say.
Right. And there's a lot of moving pieces, right? Because the portal's now open, and when a new coaching staff comes in, I think the biggest thing is patience, right? To see how everything comes together, because it's not going to happen in one day. And
it will not. It will not happen in one day. This will not. In 2 weeks, this will still won't be fixed. It's going to take, a matter of months. I think it'll all level out by probably mid to late spring, honestly, because the guys are going to go into spring ball with their teams they're at now. There's probably a handful of guys right now that have no intentions of leaving, that they're fully happy, and they're going to go into spring ball. Just use for an example, a guy at Michigan State right now is going into spring ball thinking, okay, I think I got a chance to get on the field, and he gets to spring and things are not panning out for him. But he can play. He can absolutely play. So those are just examples that I use. So it will take a while. And plus you can't convince these guys overnight. It's going to take, a guy that's recruiting a certain area or a guy that's looking for a certain position player. And he's going, excuse me, he's going to have to call that kid, maybe develop a little bit of a relationship with that kid before he can convince that kid to uproot and move to Muncie, Indiana to play football in the MAC. So it's, it does, like you said, it doesn't happen overnight. It's a process. It's a process-oriented system that's going to take some time, not forever, just going to take a few months. What's crazy, these coaches are going to have to do this every single year. These coaches, this is a life these guys are living now.
Right. So when you have a new coach, it gets to that situation like, okay, this is what coaches who have been here for a while are also doing, right? They're re-recruiting their own kids, and they're recruiting other people as well. So it's going to be very interesting to see how all the pieces pan together. But I think, Chris, one thing that we can absolutely say without a doubt is the excitement and the buzz and the energy that is building toward Ball State football in 2025 with Coach U's introductory press conference last week, and just the way that he has already embraced the Muncie community. I think there's been so many positives that we can look at and be excited for.
Yeah, absolutely. And he said all the right things because he knows what he's doing. A lot of it was coach talk. I watched it. It was 41-ish minutes, I think. I've watched it, and he hit on all the right things. He knows what to say because he's very smart. He knows what he's doing. He's been down this road before. He went into Butler with almost the exact same plan, and it worked there. No reason that it wouldn't work here. He's got his work cut out for him. Make no bones about it. He's got his work cut out for him in this job. But if anybody out there that Jeff Mitchell hired is ready and able to kind of right the ship, so to speak, Coach U's the guy to do it. I mean, from everything I've heard and everything I've heard about people who I've talked to about him have said the same thing. Great salesman. He's going to get kids to come there. He's going to dream up and scheme up is what we used to say. He's going to come up with a plan, and then he's going to scheme it like crazy. And he knows what he's doing. Now, one of the keys is he's going to have to get some assistants to follow his lead, right? And a good coach is only as good as his assistants. So if he's got guys that can help steer the ship with him, it'll go a long way. It will go quite a long way to making sure that they produce some wins next year.
Well, Chris, before we let you go, here's anything else thought-wise that you have surrounding the Ball State football program right now?
Well, for any fans that are listening, understand that, sometimes we live in the world of the smaller FBS schools, right? And this happens. This happens at a lot of schools every year. I believe that they've got the guy in there that's going to fix everything, and kind of find a way to navigate this new landscape of college football. And the key is, I think the guy hit the ground running. From everything I've heard, he hit the ground running. He's already working. He's already grinding. So he'll find a way. He'll get some assistants in here. They'll find kids, and they'll start putting the team together. They got to replace graduating guys, and they got to replace guys that are moving on through the portal itself. But the nice thing is, they're going to bring in a bunch of freshmen next year. Okay, that replaces your graduation guys, and they're going to hit the portal as well. They're allowed to hit the portal as well, right? So
it's two ways, yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, just because kids leave doesn't mean you can't bring guys in. So they're going to bring guys in as well to replace some of those key positions that we know that are very public. They've already gone, or they've already declared their intention. Now, here's one of the things that I want to mention. Just because some of those players are in the portal does not mean that those players are leaving. All right. They're exploring their options. Okay. And I'm not going to name any names at all, but just because a kid goes in the portal doesn't mean he's leaving. He's seeing what's out there. He's just testing the waters. Okay. Kind of like Juan Soto did with the Yankees, right? He's tested the waters. That didn't work out. I'm sorry. I had to throw that dagger in there. No, seriously, just because a kid declares doesn't mean he's leaving. Because here's the thing, the numbers do not match up. All right. There's 2,000 kids in the portal right now, I think, is what I read. There's only going to be 1,000 spots for kids at certain schools. So at a lot of the schools. So a lot of these kids are going to be forced to come back. So if you're a Ball State Cardinal football fan and you see some of these names like, oh man, we're losing that guy and we're losing that guy. Yes, we may lose them, but there's a chance they may not. And also Coach U is going to work his tail off to make sure those kids know they're wanted back and they're needed back and they're valued in Muncie, Indiana. So while everybody can say the sky is falling, it's not yet. All right, Coach U is going to work to make sure it's not, and he'll make sure it works to fill the roles when needed. So
awesome. No, I think that's a great way to wrap this up, Chris. Appreciate your time as always. Wish we had a game to broadcast, and can't wait to get back with you this fall or next fall,
sir.
Whatever day this is. We're in December, I think, right?
We'll be in West Lafayette before you know it, Mick. We really will. Calling a game. You know it's going to be 1,000,000 degrees that day, and we'll be sitting up there watching our Cardinals whoop up on the Boilers.
It'll be a great day to be in a press box. That's for sure.
Amen to that.
Appreciate you, Chris. Thank you.
Take care, Mick. I'll talk soon.
Thanks for listening to This Week in Ball State Sports, presented by Gainbridge. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Gainbridge Ball State Cardinals Sports Network.